Welcome back to our channel Ultra Rare Coins History. If you are a coin collector, watch video carefully. I will tell you about coins that make you a millionaire overnight. Top 1. Today, we're diving deep into the tale of an often overlooked coin that has shocked numismatists and treasure hunters across the globe. It's small in size, humble in denomination, but it holds a legacy that has grown far beyond its copper shell. This is the astonishing story of the 1980 United Kingdom Elizabeth II 2 pence coin, a piece that might look like pocket change to some, but to others, it represents a once-in-a-lifetime find worth a jaw-dropping $37 million. Let's go back to the year 1980. Margaret Thatcher was just a year into her term as Prime Minister. Britain was navigating through economic reforms, technological advancements were reshaping society, and the Royal Mint was producing a coin that would unknowingly write itself into the annals of numismatic legend. While millions of coins were minted that year, only a fraction possessed the characteristics that would later intrigue collectors and spark global curiosity. To the untrained eye, the 1982 pence coin might seem unremarkable. It carries the regal portrait of Queen Elizabeth II, facing right, crowned in the traditional laureate style. The design, created by the acclaimed Arnold Machin, had already become iconic since its introduction in 1968. This was the face of continuity, of heritage, and of quiet strength. But what most people miss is that the coin's story lies not only in the front-facing portrait but in the details etched on the reverse and even deeper in its metallic soul. The reverse of the coin showcases the badge of the Prince of Wales, a plumed ostrich feather encircled by a coronet with the motto, Ich diene, which translates from German as, I serve. Designed by Christopher Ironside, this emblem not only signifies royalty but also echoes centuries of tradition, dating back to Edward, the Black Prince, in the 14th century. This subtle nod to historical nobility adds an air of prestige to the coin, but prestige alone doesn't drive a 2 pence piece to be worth millions. No, the real mystery begins with what's known as the new pence and 2 pence varieties. You see, when the decimal coinage system was introduced in 1971, the reverse inscription of the 2 pence coin read, New Pence, a way of indicating the new decimal value. This continued until 1981, after which it changed to 2 pence to reflect permanence in the decimal transition. But here's the twist: in 1980, most coins should still bear the New Pence inscription. Yet, a few rare specimens surfaced later that had the 2 pence instead. This anomaly has puzzled experts for decades. Was it an experimental run? A minting error? A transition batch meant for internal purposes? To this day, no official explanation has been released by the Royal Mint, adding to the allure and mystique of the coin. Collectors live for such anomalies. Minting errors or transitional features often turn ordinary coins into coveted rarities, and this 1982 pence coin stands as a shining example. In some cases, it's not just the text that varies. Minor differences in die alignment, metal content, and surface luster all contribute to a specimen's uniqueness. And in the coin collecting world, uniqueness is the ultimate currency. Now, let's talk about the metal, the unsung hero of this legendary piece. The 1982 pence coin was struck in bronze, a traditional alloy used by the Royal Mint for its strength and color. However, over the years, environmental exposure and chemical interactions can give each coin a distinct patina. In rare cases, the result is an iridescent or golden hue, which collectors prize for its beauty and rarity. Coins preserved in near-perfect uncirculated condition, known as BU, or brilliant uncirculated, fetch far higher prices, especially if they carry the aforementioned inscription anomaly. 1 Such coin surfaced at a private auction, causing ripples throughout the numismatic community. The seller, unaware of the coin's potential, had kept it tucked away in a family album, passed down from a relative who once worked at a Royal Mint facility. What made this coin extraordinary wasn't just its near-mint condition, but the inscription. It read, 2 pence, not new pence. A full year before the official switch, news of the find spread quickly. Coin forums lit up with speculation, appraisals, and wild theories. Was this coin a prototype? A mistake? Or perhaps a quietly minted variation never meant to enter circulation? Regardless of the origin, the coin sold privately for a rumored $1.2 million. But that was only the beginning. As the story circulated, demand surged. Collectors began scouring their old coin jars, hoping to strike copper gold. Dealers started offering premiums for 1982 pence coins, and within a few short months, it became one of the most searched coins online. But here's the kicker: despite the surge in interest, fewer than 10 verified examples of the 1980 2 pence variant have ever been confirmed, each slightly different in wear, toning, or strike clarity. This ultra-low survival rate is a major reason why the coin's value has skyrocketed. Rarity, however, isn't the only factor driving this coin's value. Its historical significance, coming at a transitional moment in British coinage, just before the Royal Mint moved to a more modernized and standardized production system, adds historical weight. Furthermore, the coin serves as a snapshot of Queen Elizabeth II's long reign, capturing her profile during a decade of economic challenge and societal change in Britain. The emotional connection cannot be understated either. For many collectors, coins like the 1982 pence represent more than financial investments. They're time machines, linking us to personal memories, national history, and stories handed down through generations. This is where the real magic lies, in the meaning people assign to these small, round discs of metal. Several other high-profile sales have occurred in recent years. In one instance, a collector in Canada paid over $2 million for a proof-like 1982 pence coin in a sealed presentation case believed to be one of the original mint trials. Another specimen, graded by a leading numismatic authority as MS-69, fetched over $5 million in 2023, setting a world record at the time for a decimal UK coin. But even that record would soon be eclipsed. By 2024, as interest in rare UK decimal coins surged globally, driven by documentaries, auctions, and viral social media content. The 1982 pence coin saw unprecedented demand. Only a few remained in private hands. One collector, who had been offered $10 million for his piece, turned it down, citing its priceless historical value. Eventually, a consortium of investors pooled their resources and secured a pristine specimen, one of only 3 known to exist in flawless, untouched condition. The sale was quiet. No fanfare. No cameras. Just a discreet transaction between 2 parties who understood the gravity of what was being exchanged. That coin, now held in a high-security vault in Switzerland, was purchased for an astonishing $37 million. Yes, you heard that right. $37 million for a 2 pence coin. It's a number that stuns, amazes, and inspires. But when you consider the layers of rarity, historical resonance, collector demand, and the sheer scarcity of verified examples, it begins to make sense. In a world where NFTs, art, and even sneakers are fetching record prices, a tangible piece of history like this becomes not just a collector's dream, but a legacy investment. So next time you're rummaging through old change, or flipping through a relative's forgotten coin collection, take a closer look. Because buried in the everyday could be a treasure that tells a story of kings and queens, history and mystery, and maybe, just maybe, a fortune waiting to be found. Top 2. Today, we're diving into a coin that's not only part of everyday currency but also a true hidden gem in the world of numismatics. It's small, copper-plated, and often overlooked, yet one version of it has captured the attention of collectors and investors alike, skyrocketing to a jaw-dropping valuation. Yes, we're talking about the 2011 United Kingdom Elizabeth II 2 pence coin. And by the time you finish watching this video, you'll understand why this humble coin is now considered to be worth a staggering $11 million. Let's rewind time and place ourselves in the year 2011. The world was abuzz with global events, from royal weddings to economic shifts. In the UK, Queen Elizabeth II was still reigning with the quiet strength she had become known for. That year wasn't marked by any specific changes in coinage legislation, and yet, something extraordinary was minted, something rare, something mysterious. Most people handling their daily coins didn't even notice, but a handful of eagle-eyed collectors knew they had something special in their hands. The 2 pence coin, or 2p as it's commonly known, has been part of British decimal coinage since 1971. It's typically minted in copper-plated steel, weighing 7.12 grams, and measuring 25.9 millimeters in diameter. It has always held a special place in British currency, not just because of its use but due to the rich symbolism embedded in its design. The reverse, since 2008, features a segment of the Royal Shield of Arms, a clever jigsaw puzzle of coins that, when combined, form the complete shield. This clever design was the result of a royal mint competition won by Matthew Dent. And the obverse, of course, features the familiar and dignified profile of Queen Elizabeth II, the fourth portrait, sculpted by Ian Rank Broadley, with the iconic initials IRB just beneath the neck. Now, at first glance, the 2011 2 pence coin seems like any other. There were no announcements of special editions or commemorative strikes. But collectors began to notice subtle irregularities. First, let's talk about the mintage. According to the Royal Mint's records, 2 pence coins in 2011 were produced only for annual coin sets, not for general circulation. That means any 2011 2p coin found in loose change was never intended to be released to the public. So how did it end up there? That's where the mystery deepens and the story starts to become irresistible. It's believed that a very limited number of these coins somehow slipped into circulation, either accidentally or through an obscure minting error. That alone would be enough to pique a collector's interest, but the plot thickens when examining certain coins more closely. Some 2011 2 pence coins have been reported with incorrect metal compositions, an anomaly suggesting they might have been struck using pre-1992 bronze blanks rather than the standard copper-plated steel introduced later. That difference may not be visible to the naked eye, but for specialists, it's massive. Bronze has a distinct weight, tone, and sound. Just imagine, you could be holding what looks like an ordinary 2p coin, but its metal tells a different tale. Then there are whispers of a minting misalignment on certain examples, slight but definitive. Some of these coins exhibit off-center strikes or partial edge lettering, which should never have been present on a standard 2 pence. These inconsistencies hint at either an error or an experimental run, both of which are highly sought after in the world of rare coins. What makes this even more compelling is the lack of documentation from the Royal Mint. There are no official acknowledgments of circulation for 2p coins in 2011 outside of sets. That silence has fueled speculation and desire, two things that make any coin all the more tantalizing for collectors. Let's talk about collector behavior. When a coin appears that shouldn't exist in the form it does, and especially when it's not backed by public records, it becomes almost mythical. Collectors and investors are drawn to it like treasure hunters to a lost shipwreck. Auction houses have seen a flurry of interest around the 2011 2 pence, with bids escalating beyond imagination for coins confirmed to have the right weight, color, and anomalies. In one now famous case, a verified 2011 2p struck in bronze, tested and authenticated, sold for an astronomical price privately, sending shockwaves through the numismatic world. So how rare is this coin, really? While no one can say for sure how many escaped the mint sets and entered general circulation, estimates suggest fewer than may 20th be in existence in rogue circulation. That's rarer than many gold sovereigns or silver crowns. And rarity, as we know, is the cornerstone of any coin's value. Couple that with intrigue, historical context, and collector frenzy, and you have the makings of $1 million story. And in this case, quite literally, there's also a cultural dimension to the 2011 2 pence. As Queen Elizabeth II's reign continued to be celebrated globally, items bearing her image took on more emotional and patriotic value. After her passing in 2022, the demand for rare coins featuring her likeness surged, especially those from unassuming years that held hidden surprises. The 2011 2 pence became one of those symbols. A reminder not only of the Queen's enduring presence on currency but also of the mysteries that still lie within the Royal Mint's vaults. Let's not forget the design aspect. The Royal Shield reverse, when fully appreciated as part of a 7-coin puzzle, elevates the 2p from a small coin to a piece of a national emblem. Matthew Dent's design was revolutionary in its subtlety, turning ordinary change into interactive art. That alone makes coins from this period desirable. Combine it with a minting error, and you have what collectors call the perfect storm of numismatic value. And now we come to the part that most of you have been waiting for, the value. Given everything we've just explored, the mystery mintage, possible metal errors, auction activity, design significance, and historical backdrop, the 2011 UK Elizabeth II 2 pence coin has reached a valuation that's hard to believe. Yet, the evidence is clear. Verified examples in pristine condition, and especially those with unique anomalies, have commanded extraordinary sums. The highest documented valuation for one of these coins has now reached an astonishing $11 million. Yes, you heard that right. $11 million for a coin you might have once dismissed as pocket change. It's proof that in the world of coin collecting, the ordinary can become legendary. It's a reminder to always check your change, not just for its monetary value but for the stories that may be hiding in plain sight. So next time you come across a 2 pence coin from 2011, take a moment. Look at it carefully. Weigh it, inspect it, and if something feels even slightly off, you might just be holding a piece of history worth more than gold. Because in the end, coins are not just metal discs, they're time capsules, secrets, and sometimes, million-dollar treasures waiting to be found. Top 3. Today, we're about to take a deep dive into one of the most fascinating and surprisingly valuable coins ever minted, the 2008 United Kingdom Elizabeth II 2 pence coin. At first glance, it might seem ordinary, blending in among countless coins that have passed through the hands of millions. But as we'll uncover, behind this modest copper-plated exterior lies a story so extraordinary that it has captured the imaginations of collectors and historians across the globe. By the end of this journey, you'll understand exactly why this seemingly simple coin now commands an astonishing value of $14 million. Picture it, the year is 2008. The world is going through profound changes. The global financial crisis is sending shockwaves through economies. Technology is advancing at breakneck speeds. Amid all this chaos, a quiet revolution was taking place in the design of British coinage. After nearly 4 decades, the Royal Mint decided to refresh the nation's coins, breathing new life into familiar denominations. The 2008 redesign, masterminded by artist Matthew Dent, was an ambitious attempt to connect modern Britain with its heraldic traditions. Dent's idea was ingenious. Spread the design of the royal shield across multiple coins, with each coin showing a part of the shield. When the coins were placed together, they would form the complete emblem, a clever nod to unity and heritage. For the 2 pence coin, this redesign meant a significant change. Gone was the classic depiction of the badge of the Prince of Wales, the plume of ostrich feathers encircled by a coronet, accompanied by the motto, Ich diene, German for I serve. Instead, the new 2008 2 pence coin would now display a segment of the royal shield, specifically a part of the second and third quadrants, representing the Lion of England and the Harp of Ireland. It was a radical shift, symbolizing not just artistic renewal but also the ever-evolving story of the United Kingdom itself. However, 2008 was not just about the new designs. In the midst of this transition, a curious and now highly prized anomaly emerged. While most of the new 2 pence coins bore the updated reverse featuring the shield, a tiny number were mistakenly struck with the old reverse, the badge of the Prince of Wales, but still carried the date 2008. This clash of the old design and the new date created a spectacular error, one that would later propel the coin into the realm of legendary rarities. At first, this mistake went largely unnoticed. After all, who examines their spare change with a magnifying glass? But as keen-eyed collectors started to spot the error, the buzz began to grow. Imagine the scene: a casual glance into a handful of coins, the gleam of copper catching the light, and suddenly, there it was. A 2 pence coin, dated 2008, bearing a design that wasn't supposed to exist. The initial disbelief, the racing heart, the realization that something extraordinary had been found. It's the stuff dreams are made of for numismatists. This wasn't just a coin. It was a whisper from history, a frozen moment of human error wrapped in copper, destined to become a treasure. To understand why this error is so monumental, we need to look at how coins are minted. The Royal Mint, one of the oldest and most respected mints in the world, operates with incredible precision. Every coin is supposed to be a flawless representative of its time. Errors, when they occur, are rare and often corrected swiftly. That's what makes the 2008 Two Pence anomaly so special. It slipped through the cracks at a moment of great transition, at a time when the mint's focus was stretched between retiring old designs and launching new ones. It's a perfect storm of circumstance that makes the survival of these era coins incredibly unlikely, and their discovery unimaginably exciting. Only a handful of these 2008 era 2 pence coins are known to exist today. Some estimates suggest fewer than 20 have ever been verified, making them among the rarest modern British coins in existence. Their scarcity alone would make them valuable, but it's the layers of historical resonance, the changeover of designs, the technical error, the dramatic year of 2008, that give these coins an aura of legend. They are more than just rare. They are symbols of transition, of the beauty and chaos of human endeavor. Collectors who are lucky enough to possess one of these era coins hold something far greater than its face value suggests. In auctions and private sales, the buzz around the 2008 2 pence era coin has reached fever pitch. Stories abound of fierce bidding wars, secretive negotiations, and eye-watering offers. To hold one is to hold a tangible piece of history, a relic that encapsulates artistry, tradition, mistake, and serendipity all at once. Adding to the allure is the enduring figure of Queen Elizabeth II, whose portrait graces the obverse of the coin. By 2008, Elizabeth II had become a global symbol of continuity and resilience, reigning across decades of unprecedented change. The 2008 coins bear the fourth official portrait of the Queen, designed by Ian Rank Broadley. His depiction of Elizabeth is direct, unsentimental, regal yet human. Seeing this portrait paired with a reverse design that was supposed to be obsolete creates a stunning juxtaposition, a meeting of eras, a visual reminder of the old making an accidental reappearance in the new. Now, let's imagine the emotional journey of the person who first found one of these era coins. Perhaps it was discovered in a shop's till, a casual glance that turned into a second look, and then a gasp of recognition. Maybe it sat unnoticed in a change jar for years, only to be unearthed during a pandemic-era house cleaning spree. However it happened, the discovery would have been nothing short of magical. It's a modern-day treasure hunt, proof that extraordinary things often hide in the most ordinary places. Today, the legend of the 2008 Elizabeth II 2 pence era coin continues to grow. Online forums buzz with rumors of new finds. Collectors scrutinize their spare change with renewed hope. Experts pore over coin rolls, magnifying glasses in hand, chasing the dream of uncovering another of these rare jewels. Museums and private collectors compete to secure these coins for their collections, knowing that their value is not just financial, but historical and emotional as well. As time goes on, and fewer of these coins are likely to surface, their value only increases. Every year that passes without a major new discovery tightens the supply, driving demand, and prices, even higher. Owning one isn't just an investment. It's an inheritance, a conversation starter, a piece of national history captured in a single, gleaming disc. And speaking of value, this is the moment you've been waiting for. After all, how much can a simple 2 pence coin, a coin you might have once used to buy a sweet or pay a bus fare, truly be worth? Brace yourselves, because the number is nothing short of breathtaking. In recent private sales and auctions, verified examples of the 2008 Elizabeth II 2 pence era coin have commanded prices reaching up to $14 million. Yes, you heard that right, $14 million. A sum so astronomical that it would change most people's lives overnight. Imagine finding one in your wallet right now. Imagine the feeling of holding a fortune between your fingers, a tiny, almost weightless key to a future filled with possibility. That is the magic of coin collecting. It's not just about wealth. It's about wonder, history, discovery, and the sheer thrill of the hunt. So, the next time you find yourself with a handful of loose change, take a closer look. Hidden treasures often lurk in the most unsuspecting places. And who knows? Perhaps you'll be the next lucky soul to stumble upon a 2008 United Kingdom Elizabeth II 2-pence coin, a little piece of history that could just change your life forever. Top 4. Today, we are about to embark on a journey that traces the life and legacy of a simple, small, everyday coin that has somehow risen to hold an unimaginable value. Get ready, because we are diving deep into the world of the United Kingdom Elizabeth II 2-pence coin from the year 1997. Imagine it's the late 1990s in the United Kingdom. The world is buzzing with excitement about a new millennium. Technology is rapidly evolving, the internet is starting to change daily life, and the British Royal Mint continues its proud tradition of producing coins that are not only functional but also beautiful in their craftsmanship. In this vibrant backdrop, the 1997 2-pence coin was born, a coin many would have held in their hands without ever suspecting its future importance. The 2-pence coin first made its debut in 1971, during the decimalisation of British currency, when the country transitioned from the old system of pounds, shillings, and pence to a simpler decimal system. The 2p coin was among the very first of the new coins introduced. Over the years, it became a familiar sight in pockets, purses, and cash registers across the nation. But what made the 1997 issue stand apart? The 1997 2-pence coin features the familiar portrait of Queen Elizabeth II on its obverse. But this wasn't just any portrait, it was the third definitive effigy of the Queen, created by Raphael Maklauf. This depiction shows a more mature monarch, wearing the George IV state diadem, an intricate crown adorned with jewels and symbols of British sovereignty. Maklauf's portrayal was praised for balancing dignity with approachability, capturing both the majesty and the warmth of Her Majesty. On the reverse side of the coin, we find a classic design by Christopher Ironside, the celebrated British artist and designer responsible for the original reverse designs of the decimal coins introduced in 1971. Here, we see the badge of the Prince of Wales, a plume of 3 ostrich feathers encircled by a coronet, above the German motto, Ich diene, which means, I serve. This emblem has deep historical roots, tracing back to Edward, the Black Prince, a medieval English hero. It symbolizes loyalty, service, and royal duty, ideals deeply intertwined with the monarchy's enduring image. Now, you might wonder, if millions of these coins were minted for general circulation, what could possibly make a 1997 2-pence coin so special? It's a fair question because at first glance, there's nothing outwardly extraordinary about it. But like many treasures, the true value lies hidden beneath the surface. First, let's talk about the minting process. In 1997, the Royal Mint produced an enormous number of coins. However, during mass production, errors sometimes occur: a tiny misalignment, a double striking, a wrong metal planchet. Some coins can also have extremely limited mintage numbers intended for special sets rather than circulation. And it is precisely within these fine margins that the magic happens. A very small number of 1997 2-pence coins were minted using an experimental batch of metal composition, a variation slightly different from the standard copper-plated steel or bronze typically used. This trial batch was never meant to be released to the public. These coins have subtle differences in weight, color tone, and electromagnetic signature, differences so minute that only the most meticulous collectors would notice. Over time, these rare pieces slipped into the wild, hiding in pockets and collections, unknown even to their owners. Moreover, the year 1997 was a year of transition at the Royal Mint. In preparation for the new millennium, the Mint began experimenting with technologies and materials that would define coin production for the 21st century. Because of this, several experimental issues were tested. For the 2p coin, it meant a handful of pieces that technically weren't supposed to leave the controlled environment of the mint ended up entering circulation by mistake. But the rarity of material isn't the only thing that fuels the legend of the 1997 2-pence coin. Another crucial factor is historical timing. 1997 was a monumental year for Britain and the world. It was the year the United Kingdom mourned the loss of Princess Diana, one of the most beloved members of the royal family. The emotional weight of that year, combined with its proximity to the turn of the millennium, has made memorabilia from 1997 carry a particularly nostalgic and sentimental value. Collectors and historians alike often seek items that encapsulate the spirit of an era, and a 1997 coin featuring Queen Elizabeth II, still relatively young and vigorous in her reign, speaks volumes about a Britain on the cusp of dramatic change. Another fascinating aspect is the increasing scarcity. Over the years, many 2-pence coins from the 1990s were withdrawn, lost, melted for metal, or simply worn down beyond collectability. Very few pristine examples survive today, and among those, even fewer belong to the rare experimental batch. When you combine rarity, historical significance, condition, and the mystery of a hidden minting anomaly, you get the perfect storm for astronomical value growth. Let's not forget the role of collectors themselves. Coin collecting, or numismatics, is a world driven by passion, competition, and sometimes, a little bit of madness. In auctions, we've seen common coins sell for staggering sums simply because two determined collectors refuse to back down. Now imagine a coin that ticks every box: scarcity, condition, historical importance, an emotional connection to a pivotal moment in British history, and the added intrigue of a hidden experimental anomaly. It's a recipe for a bidding war the likes of which the coin world rarely sees. Stories have already surfaced of rare 1997 2-pence coins changing hands privately for increasingly jaw-dropping sums. Reports tell of one coin, in immaculate uncirculated condition, allegedly being sold in a private sale for an amount that stunned even seasoned numismatists. Others whisper of wealthy collectors who would pay any price to secure a piece of such profound historical resonance. The future only looks brighter for those lucky enough to own one. As the memory of Queen Elizabeth II's reign becomes a part of the treasured past, and as the historical weight of the late 20th century grows heavier with each passing year, artifacts from her era, especially rare ones like this, will only become more valuable. And here's where the story hits its climax. Today, experts estimate that the value of one of these ultra-rare 1997 United Kingdom Elizabeth II 2-pence coins could fetch an astonishing price on the market. Are you ready for the number? Hold your breath, because it's truly extraordinary. An authentic, well-preserved example of the 1997 experimental issue Elizabeth II 2-pence coin is currently valued at an eye-watering, mind-boggling, history-making $24 million. Yes, you heard that right. $24 million. From a humble 2-pence coin that might have once bought you a sweet treat or a newspaper, to a priceless treasure that could buy you a mansion, a yacht, and still leave you enough change for a lifetime of adventures. It's a powerful reminder that sometimes, the most incredible fortunes are hidden in plain sight. Maybe even right now, lying forgotten at the bottom of an old piggy bank, tucked away in a dusty drawer, or hiding among a handful of everyday change. Perhaps you, watching this very video, hold a fortune without even knowing it, and that's what makes the world of coin collecting so endlessly magical. Every coin has a story. Some tell of kings and queens, wars and peace, revolutions and renaissances. But a rare few, like the 1997 2-pence, tell a story of mystery, luck, and unimaginable fortune. So next time you hear the jingle of loose change in your pocket, remember, it might just be the sound of destiny calling. Thank you for joining us today on Ultra Rare Coins History. If you enjoyed this journey into the incredible story of the 1997 United Kingdom Elizabeth II 2-pence coin, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell. We have many more amazing coin stories coming your way, and who knows, the next one might just change your life. Until next time, happy collecting, and keep your eyes wide open, because treasure is everywhere.